Trials of the Ancestors introduced 16 new Atlas keystones, and every league I do a series of videos where we farm for 7 days. We do 7 different farms in order to try and make some currency, to show that basically anything you farm can be profitable, but how profitable is it? We are going to find out. So welcome to season 5 of 7 days, 7 farms. Yo guys, here we are, another league, another series of videos, and in the first episode of this series, we're going to be doing some Wandering Path with Expedition, Harvest, and Beyond. I thought I'd start out pretty basic, but we did go very different than what we did with a similar strategy last league. Normally, you can't take Wandering Path with Expedition. You absolutely need those increased number of explosives and radius and all that stuff. But with Wandering Path, the benefits that you lose from... But because of Extreme Archaeology, we only get that one explosive. We get that one big explosive. We don't need to worry about getting that increased number of explosives or the radius. We just want one big bomb. We do lose that ability to more often get Tujin and Danig, which we'll see how that affects it. And we do lose some runic monsters and logbooks. However, we can make some of the runic monsters back by getting an increased amount of pack size, as Wandering Path does increase the map modifiers that you receive because of these top modifiers on the map. So we get some of that pack size back. We're also using growing hordes to get even more pack size to try and get more runic monsters. And I think with Expedition, this is very viable. We're also using Harvest. Harvest has always been good with Wandering Path. It's been something people have done for a long time now. You could do it with like Vaal Temple. People do it with Crimson Temple. People do it when they're farming Winged Scarabs. There's Wandering Path and Harvest have been hand in hand for a while. And then finally, we're using Beyond. And this is because tainted currency is just pretty expensive right now. And it's quite cheap to get. You can see it only costs about 8 points to get Beyond on my map device. We do have to use the 7th gateway, so you could add up the points to be a bit more, maybe like 13, 14, and then the 5C per map for the Beyond. So pretty cheap investment for the Beyond, pretty cheap investment for the strat in general. If we look at the strategy, we're only using 4 polished compasses, a mesa map, and then blue altars. You could even use red altars if you really wish. I wanted to try with blue to get that additional quantity and rarity, as it's going to apply to all those monsters that spawn from Harvest and Expedition. You get more life force, you get more artifacts, you get more vendor refresh currencies. So I wanted to try that out, but you could absolutely go red if you really wanted to. And then on the map device, I can't actually select it here, but Beyond is what we're using. Now, an important thing to note is we actually don't need to guarantee the Harvest or the Expedition. It would be brilliant to do so, but it's quite expensive to do that given the way we've set up our tree. We can't use Expedition Scarabs because of the Growing Hordes keystone, and the Sacred Grove is pretty expensive. Is it worth it? Yes, probably if you're using the duplicated life force, but it adds a lot of cost to the strategy. So instead, I've not bothered to force either of them. Instead, Wandering Path actually gives us a very large chance to see both of them in our map. You'll see here that we get 60% chance for our area to contain the Sacred Grove and 72% chance to contain an Expedition. Now this is plus 60%, so you have the base chance, which I believe is 10 or 12%. I can't remember the exact amount. And then plus this 60 and plus 72. So you're very commonly going to be getting these mechanics in your map. And if not, it's just blast around the map, open up all your altars, get out, get back in. Doesn't take too long. Very decently fast mapping strategy. Harvest does take a little bit longer. My time to run the maps was just over 3 minutes per. So not too long, but also not the quickest. Now, a quick thing to mention is actually I tried 2 different maps. We did 100 maps total, which is going to be the standard for the entire series as normal. I tried Mesa and Mausoleum. So Mausoleum has an interesting mechanic where the boss does not count as being spawned until you start the encounter. This means you only get mob and player altars, meaning you get additional quantity, rarity, you'll get that chance for divine orbs, as you saw at the start of the video. But after 50 maps, I was unimpressed and I thought we would go to Mesa. And the reason for this is Mesa is a very small map. The boss is always in the middle of the map, meaning you can rush to it. And then you basically get the same effect as Mausoleum gets on the altars anyway. Maybe you lose 1 altar's worth of value. And then also you can drop the new divination card, the Fortunate. And after 50 mesas, I ended up getting a decent amount. We'll see that in the loot later. So you'll have to forgive me for today, but I had to change the Atlas quickly to get today's strategy up and running. I can't run a map for you on the previous Atlas. So the footage will be from my stream. I can't do it live for you. But we'll talk about the loot that we got. Obviously, it's split into into Mesa and Mausoleum. I have combined the good loot, but I have a breakdown in the spreadsheet of how each one compared. Mesa was far better for those that are interested. The maps don't get counted by excellence, but they're there. That's why we don't add on the map cost when we're calculating the investment, because maps kind of cancel out. You actually end up getting more back, but we don't care. We got some Scarabs, some Sanctums. These aren't even counted either. We have Eldritch Ichors, and then a lot of Tainted Currency, of course. A few Awakened Sextants. And then the big thing, we got 26 exotic coins, some scrap metal, a lot of Astrogales, 22 burial medallions, only 6 logbooks. I was very surprised with how the expedition ended up turning out. It felt like I was getting a lot less expedition currency than I normally would, despite that just not feeling like it should be the case given the way that the keystone works. You know, I'm aiming for those big clumps of runic monsters, but nevertheless, it seems to be pretty underwhelming. I'm definitely going to test another strategy where we use normal expedition and we can compare the two. But this seems pretty low compared to like doing this the normal way. Then from the blue altars, the divination card rewards, we did get a nurse and a patient. Obviously, if you're taking all those divination card rewards from mobs, you're going to get something pretty decent along the way. We got 6 logbooks. Most of them actually ended up being Tujen, which is very nice. They sell for a little bit more. We got 1 from Danig, and then 4 mythic orbs. And hang on, I have messed this up. There we go. I actually left them in this tab here, but there they are. We got 9 mythic orbs, 13 orbs of fusing, a couple of invitations, and then obviously a lot of life force. 30,000 blue, 35,000 yellow, and 27,000 pink. So pretty good going on the harvest. Really, really good amount of life force to say we weren't actually forcing harvest. We only had an additional 60% chance to see it in our map. So this per map, over 100 maps, we're looking at just shy of 1,000 life force per map. And that's with a 60% chance for harvest. So we did incredibly well on the life force. Maybe this was on the good side. We did get a few T4 seeds. But yeah, we did really well. Over the pack size also duplicated one of the bosses. We got away with some harvest shenanigans. And then the other tab is right here. All the bubblegum, just so you know, it's not included in excellence. I have a filter that gets rid of all the low currencies. And then we got 9 fortunate cards right here. We ended up getting 9 from the mesas within 50 maps, which is pretty high. I didn't actually get a single one from the altars that gives you a currency reward, which I thought was quite surprising. I expected to see a lot of them from that altar reward, but none showed up. But 9 from Mesa, which to me just puts Mesa clearly ahead of Mausoleum. We actually got a lot more loot in the Mesa than Mausoleum as well. You can see here we got 5 extra divines in Mesa than we did Mausoleum. But as for the rest of what's going on here, the investment came out to 16 chaos per map. You'll see the compasses that I used were actually just the monster compasses. You can get additional fire, cold, lightning, chaos. I just used all 4 on every map because you're getting that pack. You're getting a lot of pack size. You're also getting that additional quant and rarity from the altars. So just getting a few more monsters in there is nice. You don't need this. I don't think it added too much to my maps. I didn't actually even use it on all of them. I only started doing it like 40 maps in. So this could actually be slightly lower. We could put this to like 2.2 and, you know, it would marginally change things. But I'd rather underestimate than overestimate. Don't want to bait you guys. We ended up getting a return of 38.63 divs, which made for a profit of 31. The Divine's per hour was 4.77. Take that with a pinch of salt. I'm playing a pretty fast build. What you can do if you use a spreadsheet, as I always include, is you make a copy of the sheet. You come in here and you can put in what you estimate your time taken per map. So if you took 5 minutes per map, well, now we go down to 3.72 Divines per hour. So you can come in here and you can put how long it takes you, and you can maybe even go even faster than me, and then you'll be making even more money. But for a bit of fun, let's look at the breakdown between each of the mechanics. From Harvest, we got 10.36 Divines, Expedition 3.24, and Beyond a steady 7.95. Obviously, we did pay the 500 Chaos, so you could take 2.5 off of this, and you're left with about 5.4 Divines from the Beyond. So, Harvest a clear winner. It took it by a landslide. Expedition is hard to quantify. Obviously, you've got the logbooks, the vendor refresh. It's hard to put a value on the amount of artifacts you get. You know, I don't include that in the vids when I do Expedition. I could go away and spend all the artifact currency I made, and I could, you know, change the video. But I think for Expedition, I like to do it this way. And then obviously Beyond is just that constant flow. What I will say about Beyond is it normally goes down over time. So if you're seeing this when it's posted, there's a good chance Beyond is still around this price. But if you're seeing it maybe a week or two from now, there's a good chance Beyond is depreciated, and you're probably going to want to check those prices out. Make sure you check PoE Ninja and check the prices of tainted currency. But yeah, that was episode 1. I hope you had a great time. As always, everything will be linked in the description. If you want the tree, if you want this spreadsheet, if you want my build, I'll link my PoE Ninja and all that. I'll see you next time.